Welcome to Inspire at Random, and thank you for watching my video once again. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I love making content about anything that's random and inspiring and enriching to the soul and transformational. And in my last few videos, I've been doing a series about Asperger syndrome. I am Aspergic, and I have I have 3 kids, all have Asperger syndrome. Wife is a neurotypical. So if this sounds like what you're experiencing, well, do follow for more great content. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a meltdown situation that my daughter had yesterday night. Like some of you watching this video could be wondering if your child has Asperger syndrome, or how to deal with a meltdown proper way, how to make them feel better. Okay, so like first and foremost, like last night, my daughter was triggered during mealtime. Mealtime is one of the times that Asperger syndrome people can be very triggered for some reason. It's like, when you try to snatch away the dog's feed bowl, and then it just like snaps in your hand. That was not how I got all these, but by the way, that's the neighbor's dog. But anyway, that's a different story for another day. You've probably seen it in my previous videos. But coming back to yesterday's episode about like my daughter getting triggered during mealtime. So she was halfway through her meal. My neurotypical wife was opening a pack of Korean grilled seaweed, and my daughter wanted some. But because upon coming back home from my eldest daughter's friend's place, my youngest daughter was not being very friendly to her mom, possibly because she was a little bit grumpy after waking up from the car ride. Number 2, also hungry, and therefore she just wanted to eat. Okay, and because my neurotypical wife has this tendency to be quite loud and excited at times, and sometimes that can be very triggering even for me. Okay, I had a lot of issues with it myself. Anyway, my daughter got triggered, and she went on and on and on. I want the seaweed, 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 I want. So it's like it literally took me 5 minutes to figure out she was talking about seaweed. Although I thought it was something else, because I didn't watch it at that point of time. I just like I was doing something else at that point of time, and I was like dressing my wounds, right? And then when I came out to see it, oh, seaweed. Okay, I see a seaweed pack on the table, right? And then she was halfway through her meal, so technically it wouldn't have made much of a difference. And the funny thing is, after the whole episode ended, she didn't get any seaweed because my wife was too pissed at my daughter for having this ridiculous outburst, and didn't give her any seaweed. But anyway, she calmed down her own way, forgot about it, so the seaweed did not actually matter. But it was just something on top of the head, and this is something that like when we have meltdown, we can be repeating something that makes no sense. It could be passing thought, it could be something else, it could be just any random word that crossed our mind at that time. But because we're just in a certain state, unable to process stuff linguistically, it's interesting how like we people with autism, whether it's like regular autism or high functioning autism, we can be so smart, but at times we can be just so blank, idiotic, frustrating, you name it. Okay, you like, if you watch this video, you probably had some experiences. Maybe you are also Asperger syndrome individual, or perhaps you've been dealing with one. And I was late diagnosed, by the way, and I was just reflecting back on an incident that happened when I was about 13 or 14 years old, back when my grandma was still around. So at the time, we went to a famous Chinese restaurant, and one of the specialties was a particular item. It was a deep fried noodle that looked like a bird nest, basically, and then it had like seafood and thick gravy on top, thick pork flavored gravy. It's really, really nice, called Hoi Sim Sang Min. So yeah, so the seafood toppings with pork sauce gravy, and my grandma, she ordered for them to have the deep fried noodle boiled, right? 煮水, so it's boiled. It was already, the fried one. They had it boiled. She wanted it boiled and put in soup. I was like, what the fuck? Like seriously, why? Why would you even do that? It's sacrilegious. You know, this is so many years in the future, but I still get triggered thinking about it. But I was so triggered at the time because it's one of the specialty items, and for no damn explainable reason, right? She wanted the deep fried noodle to be boiled so that it can become soft again and put in soup. Tastes like freaking instant noodle after that. What's the point, right? Anyway, I was so, I was so triggered at the time. I did not know that I had Asperger syndrome at the time yet. I went to the toilet by myself. I was venting. I was kicking. I was having a kicking fit. And you know, I wanted to scream and shout. I was muffling my mouth. I remember that. And I was going in circles. And if people were coming in, I would just try to walk into a cubicle, and then I'll come back out and continue my kicking fit. And then it was a fair amount of time had passed, maybe about 20 minutes or 30 minutes, that my dad came and was like, "So what's this about? You know how you haven't been at the table?" But because my dad also has Asperger syndrome, again, I actually, like, you know, his siblings knew this all his life, but my dad never bothered to tell me. I only found this out 3 years ago, like roundabouts when I got diagnosed, and then I found out that actually my family has a long history of Asperger syndrome, and my dad has it too, but he didn't think there was any purpose in telling me, and you know, all his siblings obviously had it too, and then they were like, okay, and then it made sense. But because my dad had Asperger syndrome too, he spoke to me in a very calm, supportive voice. Is everything alright? You've been missing your meal. Right now, there's this item that's just come out. Would you like to come out for that? And so I was like still sniffling away, and you know, I followed my dad's lead. Okay, so last night's incident did not go so well. Partly also because that like, my wife likes to think that my youngest still has a chance of being normal and can be brought up like a normal kid. But like, apart from repeating, she also, like, you know, getting to a point that, you know, she just did not want to be touched. You know, she was getting very passive aggressive and all these signs. And my son, on the other hand, like when he's getting anxious, he likes to go to the toilet a lot, even though he has no pee left to pee. But for some reason, it's just like a coping mechanism. So we have different kinds of coping mechanisms. Some are more violent, some are less violent. Some are monotonous, some are social withdrawal. I tend to socially withdraw. And as mentioned, you know, we can be so smart at times, but we can be so ridiculously, you know, obstinate, opinionless, blank at other times. And you know, sometimes it just seems as though you're just, you know, like a cleaning robot that is insistent on going a certain way and keeps crashing the wall. And literally, sometimes we do. Like my son has a tendency to, you know, to hit his head like that. It helps him to reset. I mean, it's not as bad as hitting a wall, but I mean, well, yeah. So we all have different coping mechanisms. Like, I there's an article that I find to be very effective. I also want to include that in the video description. I didn't write it, but it's good that you read it. So I hope that helps you to identify if any of those symptoms are something some things that you're seeing in your child. But very importantly, you know, if your child has Asperger syndrome, or if you want to be sure about that, go for a proper diagnosis. Diagnosis includes like behavioral observations, as well as, you know, other tests as well. And my kids are all excellent at pattern recognition. You know, we throw at them like mathematical stuff. My eldest is not so good at math, but you know, like pattern stuff, all three of them, you know, have just the gift of it. Very fascinated with visual detail. My son's fascinated with numbers, but my all three of them, all very deeply fascinated. Photographic memory, and obsess over, like my youngest obsesses over toys that can build, building blocks, Lego, whatever geometric shape stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, want to bring this to a close. Like coping with kids with Asperger syndrome. If they're having a meltdown, like the best way that you can bring them out of it is to remind them of a positive incident. If they ever had come out of an incident nicely, first and foremost, you have to. You can be frustrated, but you want to really bring down that tone into one that is not offensive, not threatening. They're the same as we are the same as an angry, untamed animal sometimes. Like there are the wild and the pets, right? What's the difference between the wild and the pets? The wild, they're so suspicious, when they're in the mood. So when a kid's having a meltdown, they are like that wild animal. They can do stuff that's very out of character. Sounds very nice, but sometimes he does, get very, very agitated as well. So let them feel comfortable. Same thing, like talk slowly, lower tones, do not raise your voice, approach them gently, not sudden. Suddenness triggers them, puts them off. Think of how you would approach a stray dog to establish their friendliness. Okay, I know it sounds crude, but it's true and it works. And these ways of behaving would connect with me during a meltdown. So I hope that helps. And very opposite to handling a neurotypical kid. If you really want them to improve, talk about the experience after it has passed, because these meltdowns are very emotionally draining for them, dehydrating too. And so you want to get them to get over the incident, then talk about it the next day, and just try to change the state. All right. Recommend cold showers as well. Cold showers are great, one of the greatest things that I've discovered. I love cold showers. I love ice baths. Never fails to change the sentiment, and it gets me into a good productive state. So any questions on this topic are welcome in the comments, so feel free to comment down below. I would, in some cases, make a response video for your topic as well. So do check out my writings on Quora. I have a Quora link down there as well, and do subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button if you want to watch out for my upcoming videos too. Thanks for watching.